Hey guys, welcome back to Dev with Aditya, and in this video I want to answer this question: why you should learn JavaScript in 2021. Now before answering this question, let's talk about the relationship between Java and JavaScript. So I have heard many people saying that JavaScript is a framework or is a library of Java. Actually, it is not true. Like, there is no relationship between Java and JavaScript, despite the fact that both are programming languages. Okay, so there is a famous saying in development world that Java and JavaScript is like car and carpet. Okay, so the word car comes in car and in carpet, but there is no relationship between car and carpet. The same goes with Java and JavaScript. The word Java is in Java and is also in JavaScript, but there is no relationship between them. The only relationship is they both are programming languages. But now you might be asking, then if there is no relationship between Java and JavaScript, why JavaScript is named JavaScript? The reason is JavaScript has the syntax which is very similar to Java. Okay, so the syntax is very similar, and on that point, JavaScript is named JavaScript. And that is very unproductive talk that we are judging the name of the programming language. So let's move forward. So now that is clear that there is no relationship between Java and JavaScript, let's move forward. Now, understanding why you should learn JavaScript is important, but to understand that, you have to look into the history of JavaScript. Now, I won't start history lectures, don't worry, but the things that I'll discuss will be important to understand. Okay, so first, when I learned JavaScript back in 2015, I guess, or 2016, I learned JavaScript by writing the code in browser. Okay, so what we used to do is we used to create a HTML file and then we used to create a JavaScript file. Then you have to link that JavaScript file into the HTML file and then you can execute that HTML into your browser. Now, just to execute your JavaScript, you have to do all this mess. And that thing really changed after the introduction, or actually, that was introduced way before 2015, but it got popularity around 2015-16. And the thing is Node.js. You might be asking what Node.js is. So, Node.js is a runtime environment for JavaScript. Even for Node.js, I have heard some misconceptions, that is, Node is a framework of JavaScript or Node is a library of JavaScript. No, it is not. Node.js is just a runtime for JavaScript. Now, what does this runtime means? Runtime basically means that you can execute your JavaScript code into your computer directly. Now, if we do a little comparison, what was happening before that, JavaScript was only executable in the browser. Okay, after Node.js, JavaScript was even executable in your computer system, and you believe or not, that actually shaped the future of JavaScript. Okay, so now once you understand that JavaScript is now compatible with our computers, let's talk about the use case of programming language. Now you might be saying, like, give me the answer of why I should learn JavaScript. My dear friend, that answer really depends on what you think of programming language. Okay, so your perspective towards programming language is really important to understand the answer. So that is the reason I am going this far into this topic. Okay, so again, back to the topic. What is a purpose of programming language? For me, programming language is a tool by which I can digitalize my idea. So all the concepts, all the ideas that I have in my mind, I can actually create a digital product out of it. It may be a website, it may be a mobile application, it may be a game or a software, anything. But the thing is, what I thought, I converted that into digital product. If you go and follow my Instagram account, or if you go and follow my LinkedIn profile, you will see that I often use this phrase that I am a developer who can convert ideas into applications. So this idea of converting your concepts, your concepts that is in your head into a digital product, that actually inspired me to learn programming, because I can create absolutely anything from scratch. Okay, so that is the purpose of programming language according to me. Now, how you look at the programming language is completely different. Okay, this is a subjective topic. Coming back to the question, why you should learn JavaScript? Now, we know that JavaScript is a programming language, and the purpose of programming language is create something from nothing. Okay, so create anything awesome, anything exciting, anything that can change the world from absolutely nothing. That is the purpose of programming language. And now, if we assemble all the pieces, JavaScript becomes the great programming language, according to me. The reason is JavaScript is a programming language by which you can create almost anything. Let's have a look how you can create almost anything. You talk about website front end, the UI and the animations and all the cool effects and the user interface or user experience or anything that can be done with JavaScript. So that was the primary thing JavaScript was doing, right? The front end. Now, for a second, let's talk about the back end. So the data manipulation, the what we say, data processing and storage and all the things that a backend do. The thing is, you can do that with JavaScript as well using Express.js and Node.js. Let's talk about mobile development. Let's say you want to create an Android application or you want to create an iOS application. Even that is possible with JavaScript using React Native. Okay, so using React Native, write the code once and that code will create a Android application and a iOS application. So that is very, very exciting. Talk about desktop application for a second. My dear friend, you can create desktop application using Electron.js, using JavaScript. Okay, let's talk about machine learning and artificial intelligence and robotics and all that trendy topics that are going on the internet. Even that can be done with JavaScript. Machine learning can be done with TensorFlow.js. Okay, let's talk about game development. Yep, we have game engines as well that is working on JavaScript. Of course, that is not in a production environment yet, but surely in future that will become production ready. So JavaScript is like learn once, use anywhere. So JavaScript is kind of like my preferred language, but there is always a trade-off, right? JavaScript is not easiest programming language to learn. It requires hard work to learn JavaScript and to master it. But no worries, you are watching my videos. Most probably you are subscribed to this channel. If not, go ahead, do that. Okay, you did that? Great. If you are subscribed to this channel, there is no worries for you guys. I will break down every topic of JavaScript so easy that anyone can understand that. Okay, so that everything is great. Like you can create anything that is in your head using JavaScript, like not head, in your mind using JavaScript. Let's talk about salary, because money is the thing which is important, right? You have to survive, and for survival you need money. So the average salary of a JavaScript developer in USA is $86,000 per year. In India, because most of you would be from India like me, From India, I mean, not from India, in India, the average salary is around 3 to 4 lakh rupees. Now, this is average salary of a JavaScript developer. Let's say you are specialized in some specific library or framework. Let's say you are an React expert, or you are an Merge Stack expert, or you are an React Native expert. In that case, your value increases tremendously. Like in USA, you can easily reach up to 6 figures, and in India, you can easily reach up to 6 to 7 lakh rupees if you are expert at something. Like if you are expert at React or at React Native or Express or anything. So I guess there is no downside of learning JavaScript. In fact, there is no downside in learning anything in life. Okay, life is learning. You learn new things all day. So that is it. Now, if you ask me what I personally think that the future will be of JavaScript, I would say this: JavaScript is not the future. Instead, future is JavaScript.